Away with the elite. The example is Jesus. Rhema, September 4th, 2018. The material world, the planet, is not near to its disintegration, but the end of the world of sin and error, of darkness and bad science, shall come to an end with the light of my doctrine, and upon its ruins I shall raise up a new world of progress and peace. The end of the world is near. This frightening word can be heard again and again. It comes from people living in ignorance, who neither know the Lord nor His will and His thoughts of love. They do not know their own task, nor the sense and purpose of our life, not even to mention having any knowledge of the spiritual world or of the eternal destiny of man. Whose fault is that? Man is guilty himself, guilty for his spiritual lethargy, guilty for his pride, thinking he already knows everything, guilty for his imperiousness and avarice, guilty for his cowardness, not to take immediate action against evil, guilty for condemning our fellow men and justifying one's own weaknesses. We are guilty if we do not act according to the voice of our conscience and apply the righteousness that Jesus Christ has taught. Just busy yourself briefly with the 13 satanic bloodlines, and you will see the evil in action and recognize the coherences which should remain hidden. Only the one who incorporates the doctrine of Christ into his life and acts accordingly can escape Satan's stranglehold. Great will be the change that mankind will suffer in a short while. Institutions, principles, beliefs, doctrines, customs, laws, and all orders of the human existence will be shaken from their very foundations. Everything tumbles, shakes, crumbles, and explodes. All human values become pulverized. Only the divine principles will remain, because the striving of the wreaked humanity in their invented laws, which only serve to protect the stronger ones, have no validity before God. The liberation from the material thinking, however, can happen only once the artificial burdens that have been fabricated by the elite leaders of humanity have been swept away by the just wrath of God. Some examples. Diseases. Through artificially produced viruses, HIV, Ebola, Alzheimer's, through vaccines with long-term side effects, through chemistry, oil, heavy metals, poisoning in the air, in the water, in the soil. Depressions, aggressiveness caused by existential worries, through forced indebtedness, overpriced groceries, properties, buildings, means of transportation, entertainment, through cultivated egoism, to always have to have the latest thing, compulsion to buy, aggressive advertising, through fear for the job, fear for the family, fear from the government, fear from the police, the neighbor, the school, aging. All men, races, and nations will respond to the divine call. They will listen once the spirit of man becomes weary of being a prisoner on earth. The spirit will arise and break the chains of materialism in order to proclaim its spiritual freedom. The values of evil are our chains. The elite, which upholds and worships Satan and his values, wants to sell us the pure materialism as the only true thing. For as long as we accept their basic principles, such as wealth, power, and esteem, and cling to them, they have power over us. How simple it would be if we would let it all go and dedicate ourselves to the commandments of love given by the Lord. Think about this. In addition, this divine call for freedom in Christ must germinate, grow, and come to fruition. The time will come when men will arise who truly love my law, those who will know how to join the spiritual law with that of the world, the eternal power with the temporal. What a difference this will be, when the temporal power in the hands of a man will be based on the divine commandments. That will be heavenly. In such moments as we live in now, it is quite difficult, at least for me, not to judge and not to erupt in sheer anger against those. Okay, let's drop it. The Lord has allowed it for the education of His children. Yet, it shall not be in order to enslave spirits, as in times past, but to show them the road to the light, which is the true liberty of the Spirit. What is the best impulse, the greatest motivation, and the most blessed work? To be able to serve with love, joy, and compassion. Man will conceive that self-interest, fame, and honor will only call forth envy and competitive thinking and block the further progression. Man will conceive that working together is much stronger than working against each other. Man will conceive that spiritual values stand much higher than our material actions, which resemble a child wallowing in the mud. Then shall morality return to the bosom of the home. There shall be truth in the institutions and spirituality in your customs. It shall be the time in which the conscience makes its voice heard, and in which my children communicate from spirit to spirit with my divinity, where the races are joined. So, let's go. Let's cut the ground from under the feet of these bloodthirsty, money-mad, fraudulent, erring, and bored monsters, which possibly are our brothers and sisters, by denying to play along with these spiritual toddlers any longer. Pray that this madness is coming to an end soon, with Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, full of love and mercy. You will find the link to the whole chapter below the video.